Smash that subscribe button like the truth is trying to run. Hit like if you're not afraid of the dark, and drop a comment if you think you know how this ends, because this case was buried once and someone made sure it stayed that way. The rain had already erased most of the footprints by the time the patrol car's lights cut through the fog. Red and blue strobed across the steel beams of the millstone bridge, painting the river below in nervous flashes. At 2:14 a.m., a jogger had called it in, said he saw a car nose first against the guardrail, steam curling from the hood like a dying breath. By the time officers arrived, the driver was already gone. They found her 50 feet down, tangled in reeds along the riverbank. Claire Holloway, 32, senior editor at a regional news outlet, known for chasing stories other people didn't want chased. Her phone lay cracked near her hand, screen still glowing, a draft message unsent. The medical examiner would later write that her injuries were consistent with a fall. The report would say alcohol was present, not enough to kill her, but enough to soften the edges. The report would end with a word that felt clean and final: accident. Detective Mark Ellison didn't like the word. He stood under an umbrella that was losing the fight against the storm, staring at the bent guardrail. The metal bowed outward, not inward. He'd been doing this long enough to know when gravity did the work and when something else helped. They pulled Claire's car back up onto the bridge. The windshield was spiderwebbed, but the driver's airbag hadn't deployed. The passenger door was unlocked. Inside, the seats were dry, too dry. The river had swallowed her, but it hadn't touched the upholstery. Ellison's partner, Detective Lena Ortiz, crouched near the rear bumper. No skid marks, she said, voice low. If she lost control, there'd be something. Unless she didn't, Ellison replied. By dawn, the story had already been written for the public. Late night, rain-slick roads, a single vehicle incident, a tragic loss. Claire's name trended for a day, then fell into the endless scroll. Her employer posted a statement. Her sister, Emily, gave a tearful interview. The city moved on, but the case file grew heavier than it should have. Claire Holloway had been working late. That much was clear. Her laptop was still open on her desk at home. Tabs stacked like dominoes, property records, shell companies, a zoning board calendar. A folder on her desktop was titled simply Millstone. Inside were screenshots of emails, meeting notes, and a grainy still image pulled from security footage. A man in a dark jacket, a license plate half hidden by glare. Ellison requested her call logs. He requested her emails. He requested access to traffic cameras near the bridge. The request stalled. The answers came back thin. The cameras on Millstone Bridge, he was told, had been down for maintenance that night. Maintenance, Ortiz repeated, like a bad joke. At the funeral, the rain returned, as if the sky hadn't finished saying goodbye. Emily Holloway clutched a folded piece of paper like it was the last solid thing in the world. Ellison noticed the way she watched him, eyes sharp beneath grief. She wouldn't just fall, Emily said when he introduced himself. Claire hated bridges. She took the long way to avoid them. Ellison nodded. He didn't promise anything. Promises had a way of turning into lies. A week later, the case was officially closed. That's when the messages started. Anonymous tips trickled into the department's general inbox, each one more vague than the last. Look at the footage. Ask who benefits. The bridge wasn't the first meeting. Most were dismissed. One wasn't. It came from a burner account and included a single attachment, a 10-second video clip with no metadata. The image was shaky, the angle wrong. It showed the Millstone Bridge at night, rain streaking the lens. Claire's car was stopped at the shoulder. The timestamp was blurred, but the lights were unmistakable. Then another car pulled in behind her. Ellison watched it twice. Then again, frame by frame. The second car's headlights cut off. A figure stepped out, tall, confident. He walked toward Claire's driver's side window and leaned in, blocking the view. Ortiz leaned closer. That's not a breakdown, she said. That's a meeting. The clip ended abruptly. No fall, no struggle, just the promise of something unfinished. They tried to trace the video. Dead end. They tried to enhance the image. Limited success. The license plate was still a ghost. The figure's face never turned toward the camera, but the car, Ellison felt it in his bones, was familiar. He ran it against city contracts, zoning approvals, private security vendors. One name kept resurfacing. A man who appeared wherever money changed hands and rules bent quietly in the night. Thomas Gray. Gray was a consultant, a fixer, the kind of man who never signed anything himself. His clients ranged from developers to politicians, all of them clean on paper, all of them present, in some way, in Claire's open tabs. Ellison requested an interview. Gray's lawyer declined. Ortiz pulled Gray's known vehicles. One matched the silhouette in the video. Not proof, not enough. Then the second clip arrived. This one was longer, clearer, shot from beneath the bridge, looking up. The camera caught Claire at the guardrail, her hair plastered to her face, rain soaking her jacket. She was arguing with someone just out of frame. Her voice carried on the wind, angry, urgent. "I have everything," she said. "You can't stop this." A hand entered the frame. The video cut to black. Ellison felt the room tilt. For months, the city had slept on a word that felt safe. Accident. For months, someone had counted on that word to keep them free. Ortiz broke the silence. "If this is real," she said, "someone killed her." Ellison stared at the dark screen, already thinking of the doors that would close, the pressure that would come down hard and fast. The case wasn't he just reopened, it was on a collision course with people who didn't like surprises. And when they pulled the raw file apart, hunting for clues the sender hadn't erased, they found something neither of them expected. A location tag embedded deep in the data, pointing to a locked utility room beneath the bridge. But when they got there and forced the rusted door open, what they found inside wasn't just evidence. It was a warning. If this chapter pulled you in, don't look away now. Hit like, subscribe, and stay close, because the next piece of this case puts everyone in danger.